From the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine. I am Nick Barris, and it is Thursday. That means it's Open the Phones Thursday. What do you want to talk about? And listen, some Open Phones Thursdays are better than others, and the only reason, what remains the same? You, our wonderful viewers, me, the average host, and, the plus. Okay, that remains the same. But what changes into Thursdays sometimes is there's more news some days, there's less news. And this week, there are some interesting topics to discuss, both locally and nationally, and I want you to sound off on some of them. I'm going to set the table for you, but there's some good stuff, all right, that I want your reaction to, your thoughts on. Tell me what you think. All right, where to start? I mean, there's so much going on right now. I've got to start with the one that really has me, scratching my head. It was the big story, and it's not here, folks, but I know you're aware of it. The situation involving Lieutenant Joe Glinowitz in Illinois, okay? The police officer who just a few weeks back, they honored as a hero, and there he is. No, he's not. He's a thief and a scoundrel, all right? I mean, this is awful. Law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty are indeed heroes, and we honor them as they should be. And this slime bag, not the case. It was not murder when he claimed that he was chasing 3 people along this trail and that he was gunned down. They never found the shooters. I think investigators always were suspicious of this. Turns out it was a staged suicide. And he probably killed himself because he knew he was going to be caught because of his involvement in criminal activity. All right, what we know is after reviewing thousands of text messages, phone calls, and emails, it appears he was stealing and laundering money. He was a highly decorated officer on patrol, claimed that he was shot by someone. When they got there, he died, but he shot himself. Turns out not the case. Don't you hate it? I mean, we do things like this. You try to honor folks, and then you find something out like that. Now we're also hearing his wife and son may be, implicated in the thefts that he was involved with. I think he was embezzling from an organization he started, a charitable group to help children. Okay, I mean, just slimy. But I wanted to bring that up. I don't know, Mary, do we have video of the Uber driver getting blasted by that passenger? You've probably all seen this, and we'll throw this up there, but there he is. Yeah, there is the drunk former restaurant executive slamming the head of an Uber driver who wanted him to get out of the car because he was drunk. The guy wouldn't do it. Well, after the fact now, he's coming forward and saying, that just wasn't me. I don't know who that is. Do we know who that is? That's not the individual, I don't think. That's the driver there. That's the driver. The driver now refusing. There's the guy in the back who's drunk as a skunk. The driver wants him out, tells him to please get out of the car because he's drunk. The guy didn't tell him where he wanted to go anyway. And then what's his reaction? Boom, here you go. All right, you know what? And now he's on TV, this morning. I don't think we have that clip. Apologizing, saying, that's just not me. That's just not me. I'm sorry. And you know what? Good for the Uber driver. He's not accepting his apology. You want to know why? Because I agree with the Uber driver. If this had not been caught on video and had not gone viral, I don't think that guy would have apologized or cared at all. He would have gotten away with it, But you know what? You choose to get drunk as a skunk and then do stupid things. I don't want to hear that that's not you. You're the one that drank. You're the one that beat that guy up. It's kind of like that crazy defense for Corey Beatty in the Vanderbilt rape trial. I was so drunk that night, I can't remember what I did. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're accused of raping someone. The fact that you drank is immaterial to me. If you did it, I don't care if you were drinking or not. I mean, it's just, what do you think about that? That video, and I like it. I understand, it's good to forgive and move on. But I don't have a problem with this cabbie not forgiving this clown because I think he's just hoping the cabbie accepts it so the pressure comes off him. Because right now he's one of the more vilified people in the entire country for being caught the fool slamming this poor cabbie's head into his steering wheel. All right, let's get a little closer to home because, you guys can comment on a few of those things. Just the absolutely horrible situation with that mysterious murder of a man at the Mona boat ramp off West Jefferson Pike in Rutherford County. Once again, yesterday, law enforcement officers held a news conference there anyone with tips about this. We think the victim there stumbled on people breaking into cars. They shot and killed him. I just want to throw that back out again. Anyone who knows what happened or who was involved in that senseless crime that claimed the life of just an innocent man, please come forward and let's talk about that. A couple other items I want to throw out. Story yesterday that I broke out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. And I don't know how we have that video, Mary, how we can play it, but we don't have that one yet. Okay, well, this was, I don't know if you've seen it by now, and you can go to my Facebook page or go to our newschannel5.com. A convicted sex offender out of Florida and North Carolina made his way here, pulled into a restaurant parking lot yesterday around lunchtime, broad daylight, pulls up to a woman, jumps out of the car, grabs her, tries to get her into his car, fondles her, throws her to the ground, and then Good Samaritans intervene and take this guy down with police just a few feet away. They bring him there. I'm the only reporter who shows up on the scene, gets this, and then I get this clown on his perp walk, okay? So we've got him now, and you know what? There are a lot of things I do in this business. Some I enjoy more than most, okay, and than others. And I confess, I enjoy throwing a microphone in the face of someone accused of a lousy crime and peppering them with questions. Now, I understand they're innocent till proven guilty, but I like throwing the camera in their face. Some people call that an ambush interview. I don't. I call it a confrontation interview with an individual coming out. Well, this guy didn't say anything to me, but I can tell he was not appreciative of me as he walked in public to the squad car, peppering him with questions. You know what? It's going to get a lot worse for him in the coming days, and I don't have any problem with doing that. I love getting in their face. All right, a couple other items just to throw your way. Of course, the big story this past week, you know about it. Ken Whisenhunt for the Titans, that big story sports-wise, fired. If you want to sound off on that, our new coach Mike Mularkey, I mean, is he going? There he is. To the right there as you look, Mike Mularkey, and there's the team president. And what's going to happen with the Titans? Whisenhunt's gone, walking out of town, I think with an additional $15 million. Don't shed a tear for him. He's a good offensive coordinator. Maybe he's just not meant to be a head coach. He'll be hired somewhere. Meanwhile, he's laughing all the way to the bank. Mularkey, he's smiling there, but he's saddled with the worst team in the NFL. I don't know. What do you think? And one other thing I want to throw out, we've talked about this before in terms of some of the very senseless violence that's happening, especially involving young people. And you know, 2 young people. One died, one was severely injured in shootings this past week here in Metro. The one case when an 18-year-old, I think, shot that 14-year-old over a dispute. What the heck is that all about? There's that poor victim. I mean, it's just awful. An argument, one goes in, gets the gun, and shoots the other. And now, how do you? I want to make sure I pronounce her name right. Is it Treonta Burleson? Just awful. 14-year-old shot and killed. If you want to sound off along that line, I see this kind of violence and it breaks my heart. And the other story from overnight, Metro councilman was shot 3 times, has survived at this point. I'm sorry, Mary? Yeah, District 1 councilman was shot overnight, and you know, I'm trying to double check just how it is. The White Bridge Road area there, not a bad area by any means, but it's a Lionel or Lionel. There's some question, but I think Lionel's how you pronounce it. Lionel Green Jr. He was just elected to the Metro Council out of District 1 and was shot 3 times. He appears as though the injury is not life-threatening, but a lot of questions around this. I don't know what Lionel was doing last night. He may have been just randomly asked a question by these individuals, but apparently there's surveillance video showing him walk from his vehicle at the gas station over to 2 individuals, and the shooting happened. And a lot of questions. Why did he walk up to them? What was this all about? You know, what was really going on here? I can tell you this, that Metro Police are going to treat this very seriously, an attempted murder of a Metro councilman, and they're going to do their due diligence, and they're going to dig it up. And if they find these suspects, I'll be curious to hear what they say as to why they were interacting with this councilman. I don't know, again, if there was anything fishy going on there or could have been completely innocent on all of this. We just don't know. We haven't heard from him yet to explain why it was he went over and was talking to these 2 individuals outside this gas station 10 o'clock last night. But we'll get those answers and we'll see how it plays out. I certainly wish him well and hope he recovers, but there are questions about how this went down. Not that he's going to be charged with any crime, but I want to know what what was he up to there, and what were they up to, and why did this shooting occur? A lot to be answered there. A couple more things I'm going to throw your way. The number you see on the screen, 737-7587. Donald Trump is going to be on Saturday Night Live this weekend. Joe Biden is going to be in town today. Of course, we know he's not running for president. And did you buy a lottery ticket in Antioch? Because if you did, you could be $144 million richer. This is the second largest lottery jackpot in Tennessee history. Someone bought the winning numbers that were drawn last night in Powerball. $144 million. The lottery officials say, if that's you, quickly sign the ticket, put it in a safe place, as if you haven't already done that, and call the Nashville headquarters for the lottery before you come in. Then you can collect your money, quit your job, and buy that sports car you always wanted. 144 mil locally, bought here in Nashville, or not Nashville, outside Nashville in Antioch. Be interesting to see who that winner is. Maybe they'll come forward today. Maybe they'll take a while. Maybe they don't know they've won yet. If you've got a ticket, you bought it in Antioch, check it. You could be worth $144 million. All right, phone line's open. We're going to take phone calls up until the 9 o'clock hour, 737-7587, whatever you want to talk about. Great topics there. If you have something else, bring it up. We'll chat. And I'm guessing we just start with Joe on line 1. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Hey, Joe, what do you say, my friend?
Oh, man, I agree with you 100% on these crimes being committed, people saying they're drunk or on drugs.
I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. I'm with you, man.
I don't want to hear it anymore either.
Excuses, excuses, excuses.
Yeah. And as far as the policeman up there in Ohio, that goes to show you what money will do to people.
Yeah, that was in Illinois. Yeah, the money. I think he started embezzling, and then the coward was afraid he'd get caught, so he decided to kill himself. And by doing it the way he did, he preserved his benefits for his family, which they would not get if it was known that he killed himself.
That's what he thought.
Yeah. Well, now he's gone and dead. I wonder about his family now.
Yeah. Well, it looks like maybe the family's involved in this too. So.
Yeah.
You know, if they do, they don't deserve it. But on a local level here, you know, it's. I think it's kind of ironic. I see that they're setting up a satellite police station at TSU, when just a few months ago, the people out there were raising Cain about them not wanting to build, move the downtown police precinct out there on Jefferson Street. I'm sorry, but you know, this is getting to be an everyday thing. Sometimes two times a day.
Yeah.
It's out of hand, and these young people are out of hand tremendously, as far as I'm concerned. But one other thing I want to ask you, I hadn't heard it, about the man and his wife that beat up the record executive out on, I think, Music Row. It was in court, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, I was talking about that in the newsroom, and it's interesting because I think some of the implication was that those two may have been drinking when they beat up that Music City executive and Music Row executive and broke his jaw. And again, I don't care. If you're drinking and you do something stupid, that's on you. Don't blame it on the whiskey you were slugging. That was a hearing scheduled for 2 days ago, Joe, and it was continued, I think, until next week. So they did not make an appearance, but I'm looking forward to it. Their names escape me, but again, it was a couple that was just crossing the road, and the man in the car stopped, and I guess looks were exchanged, and the Music City executive or Music Row executive is pulled out of the car and punched, and they broke his jaw, and then they take off. And well, they caught him, they were arrested, and what I remember about them is their mugshots, especially for the guy. He's kind of smirking. Solid citizens, those two, you know? It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Trust me, we'll be there with a camera when they're in court next week, and we'll see if he's still smirking. All right, do we want to take a break or we want to take more calls? We'll do a break. When we come back, we've got one line open. The number is 737-7587. And when we come back, we'll take more of your calls, whatever you want to talk about. Stay with us.